Can you see us? No.
I hope so. I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, everyone's saying that. Okay, well,
If they can see us all, let's go, girl. You know how it is. I'm gonna log in through. I'm also gonna go in so I can see you through Instagram. But as long as they can see us, hey, girl, let's go. You know what? We just go with the flow.
Gonna go with it. These things happen. So once again, thank you, ladies, for being my guest. I have one of my babies. I don't want to call you a baby, but my baby. My grandsons go up, man. I've just watched her career.
Oh.
So proud of you, Shantia. But I want you to tell the audience what you do.
Okay. So my name is Shantia. I am a stylist and a fashion marketing manager. So if you've been to the airport and looked at the print videos all around Bermuda, I style for Bermuda Tourism. So I do all the campaigns. Wow. I style for all of that. I do music videos and I do personal styling. And I also do a lot of people's Instagrams.
So proud.
That's amazing. So when I went to go look, I said, "Who's Shantia? Who's this person?" So I went to your Instagram, and I was like, "This girl is doing her thing." Oh wow! I was like, I think I saw one where you were in Italy and something. I was like, "Oh yes, I love it. I loved it." Yeah. So I definitely be following you for sure.
Because we forgot that date. We're gonna leave that out of this week's conversation, maybe. But yeah.
Oh goodness.
So yeah, it's amazing seeing her blossom because she was like my A to Z girl when I had A to Z. What was that? Almost 10 years ago.
Wow.
And I was a model and how we put the shows together, and now she is like just blossoming into this amazing adult and beautiful person. So I'm super proud of you. And Miss Keisha, everybody knows who you are, but let's introduce yourself for anyone who's new.
Mm-hmm. Hi, everyone. So I am your transformation coach. I'm your inner guide. I help women to reclaim their lives, to control their lives after they've hit rock bottom or they are feeling emotionally and mentally stressed. I'm the one to get you back on track so that you can, be repurposed.
Love it, love it, love it. And I am Andrew Burgess. Poppy Love, and now the new movement, I Am Enough, which is not only a hand and clothing line, but a platform for women to express themselves, come to for advice, a safe place, as we call it. And we have now, hey sis, this is Keisha. Mm-hmm. So people are writing in and I'm loving it. And then I have to kind of like, which one do I want to do this week? Because I want to be first. So what I may start doing is actually posting the ones that don't make the live onto Facebook. So then people can still get their advice. So I'm going to jump right into it. I always, of course it's interesting because I always pick the ones that I feel are interesting. And as I Am Enough is a movement for women, I found this to be something that we should definitely discuss. So, oh, my light went off. Okay. As long as everyone can still see me. But it says, so the topic this week is, did my best friend betray me? So it's, hey sis, can you guys hear me? Because last week we said, hey sis, this is Keisha, and I really need your help. To understand my story, here is a little about my background. My dad died when I was young, leaving just me and my mom. 4 years after his death, my mom remarried to my stepdad, who had 2 daughters from a previous marriage. We quickly became a blended family. My stepsisters were very outgoing with lots of friends. I was just the opposite, quiet, reserved, and not many friends. For that reason, I loved when they came to the house. There was one of the friends, let's call her Karen, that I gelled with, and over the years we remained friends. And for the last 5 years, I can honestly say she has been my best friend and sister, or has she? months ago, my now fiance asked me to marry him. It was nothing short of a fairy tale. Wedding planning was on the go, and of course, Karen was my maid of honor. It really felt like I was living a dream until 2 months ago, I was looking on Instagram. I am not a social media person, but every now and then I pop on. I went to my Instagram messages and had a number of messages and missed calls. Long story short, after answering the messages and talking to this woman, it was clear that before my engagement, my fiance had been sleeping with her. After confronting him, he was honest and said it was the biggest mistake of his life. And that's when he realized he needed to do right by me. Don't get me wrong, I was broken, angry, totally finished with him. However, we were working on our relationship and still intend to get married. As soon as I found out, I called Karen. She dropped everything to rush to me to be by my side. And after telling her my whole story, I asked her, please, please do not tell my sister. I didn't want my family involved, and I didn't want them trying to force me into making any decisions. A few weeks ago, Karen and my sister Karen and my sister got together for drinks. It was clear that Karen told my sister what was happening. There was, I am glad you're okay. If you need me, I'm here. After drinks, I confronted Karen and she said she didn't mean to say anything. It was just that my sister had called her because she said I was being distant. Of course, now the whole entire family knows the story and is making comments and trying to force me not to marry this man. My mom says I should put off the wedding. My stepdad wants to kill him. And all this could have been avoided if Karen would have just kept it to herself. At this point, I just want to elope, putting in the work to make this work. But did my best friend betray me by telling my sister? His face. I can see your face.
I see both sides. Sorry.
Hmm?
I see both sides.
I do too. So tell me what you're thinking, Shantia.
So me having a sister, I think my sister would probably do the same. But also being someone who doesn't like drama, I could see why she would be like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
And plus the embarrassment with her family, like that's, yeah. So I definitely see both sides.
Oh, somebody, yes. So what do you think?
Listen, I always have to go back to, are we asking the right questions? You're asking if your sister betrayed you.
If
And
Karen, her friend, betrayed her by telling her sister.
her friend, did her friend betray her? And the word betray is such a strong word, right? Such a strong word. And when she wrote about her friend in relation to what she wrote about her partner, I felt more strongly about the distaste that she's feeling against her friend. And I do appreciate she has said that she's going to counseling and that she has dealt with it. But what levels are we putting people on, right? Is that betrayal worth more than the betrayal of her boyfriend messing around, her fiance, messing around with someone?
Yeah, I definitely see two sides of it because we always talk, and this is the whole premises behind I Am Enough, is that we want a safe place. We want to be able to go to our sisters and say, listen, this is what I'm going through, and feel safe that our business is not going to end up everywhere else. But I also understand that sometimes when people come to us, it's heavy for us and we may not know what to do. And I think maybe in this instant, imagine just the whole scenario. I'm getting married. I'm picking out dresses. I'm just on cloud nine, and then bam. I'm sure she didn't call her friend and be like, "Girl, I just found out he's secret."
Yeah, nobody wants to tell a good friend that.
Yeah, she was probably hollering and screaming and crying, and so now the friend's like, "Oh my God, this is too much. What do I do? She needs a family." But on the flip side of it, we need these safe places that we can go to that, we're safe. Like, I want to be able to call my friend and say, look, I know that it doesn't go any further. But there is really a thin line, because sometimes it's like, this is too much. Like, how can we help?
But I think also sometimes our safe places have our best interests at heart as well, right?
Yeah.
And getting married, we're not just talking about a boyfriend, baby father. We're actually talking about a life decision that she's going to make, right?
Yes.
And sometimes, you know, girlfriends know more than what they're actually letting on. Especially like if this is a situation in Bermuda, you may have heard some rumors rumbling in the bush, and you don't necessarily have all of the facts, but you have pieces that you may not necessarily be able to put together in that moment, right? And so you don't want your friend to make a decision that is going to ruin her for the rest of her life. And I can understand from a friend point of view wanting to reach out to the sister, because it might be a situation where, okay, can we help her to make sure that she's going to make the right decision and that she's going on the right path? So I can understand it from that aspect. And I can also understand it from the bride aspect of, I reached out to my friend and I was expecting it to be a safe space. But we also have to understand that our safe spaces are not always going to agree with us if they have our best interests at heart, right? And that's the whole point of having people that you truly trust. She could have went, I could understand if she went and had a conversation with maybe her other friends, right? People at work, but she actually kept it in the circle. So that kind of tells me that she kind of had her best interests at heart, right? So I do question, again, that way of thinking where the bride is really thinking in that moment. Because when you truly want to get married, when you have been dreaming about it, thinking about it, you've started to plan your day, right? You don't want to hear that he's breaking up with you because of someone else. So sometimes you would decide, you know what, I'm still going to marry him, but is that something that you truly want to do, or because you're so overjoyed, you have this euphoria and you want to get married, but is that really the best decision? Gives me the best decision. And so her friend, you know, thinking outside of the box, wanting to have dialogue from someone else, could have truly been thinking of it from, if I just speak to someone else, have this conversation, would I be able to help her? Letitia's in the comments. I don't know if she sent an invite in case she wanted to come up and say something, but that was my view. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Shantia.
I agree. Like, I wouldn't use the word betrayal. It wasn't betrayal. I feel like it came from the heart, and she just was just trying to help, really.
Mm-hmm.
Anything there about not going to other people, because I feel like people go to other people, other friends and everything, but because she went to her family, she kept it in the circle, and that's what matters. She was just trying to help, I feel.
And again, like, it's a whole, it's layers, because now she's embarrassed, you know.
Yeah.
Now it's not, because she said it was like a fairy tale. Now, you know, it's not a fairy tale. And, you know, you're on this cloud nine, and then all of a sudden, bam, some girl saying, I was sleeping with your man, you know. And it is a very difficult situation, I'm sure, for the friend and for the bride, because now it's like, I'm marrying this man that my family probably had a relationship with before, but now they hate him because he hurt me.
Right.
I can't have this dream that I want, because
and now it's all
my part. Yeah.
But shouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Let's have that conversation, right? I think it should be. And I think if we are in the game of changing mindsets, right, then I think we should have that conversation of, yes, we want that dream wedding and we want that euphoria. But if that person isn't right for you, then 5 years down the road, you're going to have the same situation where you're going through that process of you're angry, you're unhealed, you're mad at him, he is cheated again. And so your saga continues, and then you find yourself at rock bottom where you are trying to get over the emotional and mental pain because you wanted to get married and you didn't want to deal with that issue when you were confronted by it.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's just, we have to realize that some things are just not for show and be honest. We want to have these weddings, and that's for one day. Then their choice. It's for one day. And we have to honestly be honest with ourselves when we're making these decisions. And sometimes our friends are the ones that can help us see clarity, but we're so floating on this ideal of what we want that we can't even hear what anybody else is saying. So you end up being with this person about his marriage, or just being in a relationship with him, and it ends up being a train wreck. And then it gets to this point where you don't want anybody else to be right, so you just stay and you just go through these motions because I'm not gonna leave him because I don't want nobody saying I told you so. All these selfish stuff. And really, we have to really think that when we're making these decisions about the people that we're deciding to spend the rest of our life with, that is what we are doing. We're making a decision to say, this man is the man that I can feel like I can go through any and everything with, no matter what comes, regardless of our pride. We have to be able to take our pride and throw it right out the window and really sit and look at what the reality is of these relationships. And I wanted to say, and when I read that, I wanted to say that this even goes for our relationships with our girlfriends, because we get in these relationships with these people that we call our friends, and they're just a statement. We'll quickly talk about, oh, she's been with that man 10 years, they're not married, he messes around. But sometimes we are in these toxic relationships with these people we call friends as well. So as much as we want to say, we shouldn't be with, she shouldn't be with that man, sometimes we have to say to ourselves, we shouldn't be friends with certain people.
We
have to be able to cut off people and let them go, no matter how hard it is, because the hurt just continues if it's unhealthy, no matter what.
That's very
so we don't know the history of their relationship. She did say that was like her sister and her best friend, but maybe Karen's a gossip mouth. Maybe she's not. Maybe she did have her best interest in mind. It's not enough information to know, but I feel like Karen should have went to her and say, listen, you come to me with this situation. It's over my head. I want to help you, and I feel like you're in a really dark place. And like, who else are you going to talk to? Do you need to talk to your mom? I can't help you. Like, I'm stuck. I think she should have gave her that before she ran into her sister.
Yeah, that's very true.
So Letitia says, shame really keeps us in places we have no place being in.
Amen. You're not joining us?
So she said, not today. She said she's not camera ready today.
Oh, yeah, camera ready. I get that. Don't worry. Okay. But yes, it does. And that is my point. We're so stuck on this fantasy. Number one, we're stuck on this fantasy, and then we're stuck on being embarrassed that it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Oh, I planned this wedding and now I have to cancel it. Okay.
And I think that's the flip side, right? So whilst Karen may have had the opportunity to go back to her. Now, if someone said that she had already been to counseling and it's already worked out, that kind of sounds like you're trying to convince me that everything is okay, right? But as your friend, yes, I should have a conversation with you. And I would assume that Karen probably did have a conversation. And I would also assume that that's probably why she stressed with her, I don't want you to tell anyone, and so forth, because at that point, Karen probably said, I think you should have a conversation with your family. Just going through the scenarios in our head. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I do believe that friendships, we shouldn't be going against someone's trust. Of course, that is the case, right? But this isn't a situation where it's just a way by. This is a situation where she's making a life altering
Yeah.
decision. She's
Yes.
going to marry this
Yeah.
person. And I truly believe that let's switch this scenario around, because it happens all the time where people are about to get married and we may know something, right?
Mhm.
But we don't want to ruin their dream.
Mhm.
We don't
Right.
want to tell them because it's the truth. And then my question to that is, well, are you truly a good friend if you're not having the conversation with that person and you're not telling them the truth, right? Do you just want to be a part of the situation? But whose shoulder is she going to cry on? And it's going to hurt even more when she finds out that you knew about the situation and you didn't tell her.
Yeah.
So, am I a friend for not telling you and not, I'm thinking I have your back? Or am I a friend for being honest, even when I know it's going to hurt you, but I'm going to tell you the truth?
Yeah. And I think a lot of times it's so hard, especially when you know your friend, because we have people that that if you go to, and that's why before I say that, I'm going to say this is why we need to be honest about our friendships with women, because I should be able to come to you and say, this is how I feel without you being offended.
Yeah.
Because, but the first thing people, oh, she's just jealous, or no, trust me, I'm not. I'm telling you what I can see, you maybe can't see. But then some people can't take that. Like I've lost friends over being totally honest about how I feel about the situation. Like
Yeah.
stop speaking to people because I
Yeah.
want you to. You see me in a stupid situation, sis. Please tell me. But I'm that friend, and there have been people that I have been close to that have stopped speaking to me because I've been brutally honest about that situation. So that.
And at the end of the day, they just wasn't ready to hear it. But you have to always be true to yourself, right? And
Yeah.
I just truly believe that you have to be true to yourself. And if that is something that is constantly rising up in you to have that conversation with that person and to be honest, then be true to yourself and do it, right? At the end of the day, they know the information. Whether they choose to act on the information is now their decision, right? And whether they choose to continue to be your friend, that's their decision. But at least you can live with yourself and say, I told that person.
Yeah.
So Shantia, you're a little younger than us, right? So I guess, how old are you? 25, 26? Did you see me as Zoya? Yeah.
29.
Yeah, younger? Yeah, how old? 29?
29.
Okay, a little older than Zoya.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're hitting that 30. And I know for me, 30 was a life altering age. It's like I went from being this person to a totally different person when I hit 30. Like I was just like, what? Like I started to see things a lot clearer. I started not to want to be around certain people. I started to focus more on myself and what I wanted, even though I'm still on that journey, right? So 30 for me was really like damn, like a punch in the face, right? So for me, I'm asking you because you are a little younger than us, or a lot younger than us. When you what do you look for in qualities of friendships? Like, are you still at that age where somebody's just my friend because they've been my friend since primary school, or are you at that stage where you're like, no, I can no longer be friends with this person because we're moving in different directions?
Yeah. I feel like this conversation is really, it's funny how things work out and you need to hear at a certain time.
Yeah.
Because this very thing is what I'm going through right now. And I remember being so scared, like 30 gross. Like all my friends would tell you, I'd be like, 30? Like that's so disgusting. But now I'm like excited because what you just said, a lot of people have told me that. So I'm looking forward to 30 next year. And changing my whole mindset and life and everything. So it's exciting for me. But when it comes to friends, definitely, I feel like now that I'm like purposely putting myself in spaces with women who inspire me,
Yes.
it's making me look around and I'm like, like I love you guys. Like some of them, like, you know, I love you guys, and but like we're going in two different directions. Like I'm trying to be secure and trying to, you know, live out my dreams and do fashion stuff and travel and all these things. And then some of my friends still just wanna argue with people and be with men that deserve them and everything. And I'm like, I'm trying to run away from that, go the opposite way. So I definitely see myself like distancing myself. I'll check in here and there because still love them. We grew up together and everything like that. But our journeys are definitely going different paths. And I'm definitely finding other girls that are more, you know, into what I am and trying to better our lives. And, you know, so it's definitely a bittersweet kind of situation.
Yeah, I get it. But don't be afraid to just love people from a distance. I always say you don't have to, like, I'm not like blocking you and I don't want to talk to you anymore. Yeah, we can still have dinner and drinks here and there, but you're not gonna be my go-to person. Absolutely, absolutely not gonna ask you for any advice.
Yeah.
You know, you just learn how to love people.
Yes.
You
Mm-hmm.
and in doing that, sometimes, yes, it is a distance between you and that person, but that is what is necessary for your personal growth. For personal growth, there are people that you just have to let go. And
The thing is, growth is evolution, right? In every aspect of our life, growth is evolution. So would it not be right that we would grow with our friends as well, or grow away from our friends as well? And, you know, I think oftentimes some people think we're just supposed to be stuck with that group of people forever, right? And that's not the case. For yourself, if you wanted to get into fashion, you needed to be around people who were in fashion, right? You can't be done, let's think, you can't be done motorcycling and be like, I want to get into fashion, right? It wouldn't work. You have to be able to evolve where you want to be, right? And it doesn't mean by any means, if those people don't understand that I'm growing, then I'm sorry, then maybe I've outgrown you, right? And they just have to come to terms with that. They would have to deal with it themselves. You can only show the same amount of love. And if they get frustrated because my life is turning where I'm so busy, I no longer have those type of interests, I have to put in the work in a different area. That's my life, right? And I can only be true to where I'm trying to go because my life is purpose for me to do that. It doesn't matter if you are 30 years old, if you're 40 years old, or 50. Angel will tell you it's happening with us even now, and we think that we're way settled, right? I moved to the UK and I have wonderful friends that are in Bermuda, but I'm just going in a different direction in comparison to my life 7 to 8 years ago, right? Doesn't mean that I don't love them the same. I absolutely do, but our interests are different. Where I'm trying to go is different, right? And the box that they may wish people may wish to put you in, I'm sorry, I gotta break it. You know, and so your talents, your everything is going to make room for you in the space that you're trying to go to, right? And so don't limit yourself. I'm sorry, this is where I'm trying to go. I love you. And that's what's gonna be.
And it could be that your friends are moving in different directions too, and they could be just as on a positive wavelength as you are. But if our interests are different and if we see things differently, that's just how it is, right? And then you got these people that are still the same people they were 10 years ago. So when you're having these conversations, it's like, I don't even, like, we had the
Right.
same type of conversation 10 years ago. Like, you still doing the same, absolutely same.
Exactly.
Like, and for me, it's like, I have to really be careful who I let in, because I take things so personal. Like, I am that friend. Like, I'm that friend that's dressing up in black with you. Like, I am that friend. So I have to really be careful who I'm that loyal to.
Yeah.
Because you find getting soaked up so emotionally sucked up in what they're going through. And it's like, sometimes you just invest too much in somebody else's BS, you know?
Yeah.
So we have to be able just to love people from over there. We have to, you know, and getting back to the situation, we don't know. She hasn't gave enough information, but I would only imagine that in this case, if she went to her with the most difficult thing that she's probably ever dealt with in her life, that Karen isn't messy. Because if I'm going through some deep, dark crap, I'm not going to the messy person. I'm going to the person that I know that I can trust. So I do feel like if Karen did say to her sister, listen, this is what's happening, I do feel like she done it out of the best interest. Because if you ever had a broken heart, you know what that do. You don't want to eat, you can't sleep, you're losing weight, you're messing up at work. And if Karen's seeing all these things going on with her friend, then maybe she thought like talking to her sister was the best thing to do. I don't think she meant it. I don't think, and like we said, betray is a very difficult word. And I don't think she.
Sometimes we direct our anger to the wrong place. Right? I suffer from back pain, and sometimes it will be my leg, and I'll be like, oh, my leg is hurting me, but really it's my back, right? Or it's like disassociated pain to another particular area. And that's why I was saying earlier, is she directing her anger? Is she directing what she truly is feeling? Because it sounds to me also that the fact that they've kept it so quiet, they've gone to counseling, that tells me that it's been more than 2 weeks, right? That she's been dealing with this. And so if she hasn't had an opportunity to display all portions of her anger, go through the grief process, right? If she hasn't had an opportunity to go through the cycle, then she's gonna, I'm gonna be mad at my friend. Betrayal is such a strong word for her to use, right? And I think that sometimes it's easier for us to be mad at our friends than it is to be mad at our boyfriends, because we don't want to be alone. We don't want to be single, right? And someone finally proposes to you, and now it's going to be over. How do you feel?
Yeah. And that's what I say. We have to stop being so proud and ashamed of when these things happen, you know, because people forget. And this what she's going through, she's getting, my brother said, she said, it just only staged for a little while. I remember when I was going through my first divorce, I was like, what the hell? Like, I was hearing stories about myself that I like, and my brother, she said, you're just going to be on the stage for a little while. People will forget. And people forget. But if she decides to marry this man because of her pride and because she's the one got to deal with him, she's the one that is gonna be living with this man, committed to this man. All this, him being unfaithful, people's gonna forget about that and go on with their lives. And here you are, stuck with this man who done this to you.
Yes.
You know, we have to get out of this one about what people say. And I know it's hard on Bendy One. To what she said. She said, no, if you come to me and you say, Andrew, guess somebody said something, what you said about me when they said to you, I don't care what you say. I want to know how you defended me. I don't really care what anyone has to say about me. I honestly don't. You know?
I'm at the point in my life where it's like, I don't even care what you said.
Absolutely.
I'm at a point in my life where I don't even care what you say. I don't care if you defended me. I don't care if you had a conversation for hours. I hope it was a good conversation, because guess what? I'm still going to live my best life, right? I'm still going to enjoy myself, and it doesn't deter me away from what it is that I'm going to do in my life. If you find my life interesting, if you wish to talk about it, great. I hope you're inspired in some sort of way, but I'm going to be living my best life. Talk
That's
about me
it.
all you
That,
like.
yeah.
Good, bad, and
Yep.
ugly. Good, bad, and ugly. It is who I am. And I only have one judge, and that's good. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Exactly.
Yeah.
None of my business.
What
It
they
is
say,
none of my business what
it's
people
not,
think.
yes, it's none of my business what people think about me,
Mhm.
especially when you know you're a good person. None of us are perfect. We're all like, we've had this I think the conversation comes up every week that we've all gossiped, we've all spread it through rumor and been like, oh my God, did you hear? But I think when you grow and you mature and you focus so much on whatever you're focusing on, whether it's your family, your business, that type of stuff doesn't even excite you anymore. Like people will say to me like, oh girl, and I'm like, when that happened? I don't even know that marriages lists and all of that stuff. I screenshots and look who said what. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no interest in that type of stuff. And to each his own, if that's how you want to spend it. Thank you, Mama. If that's how you want to spend your day, worrying about what somebody else does, by all means, go right ahead. But I'm far too busy, or trying to be too busy, to be worrying about what someone thinks about me. When I know that I'm out there trying to be a good person.
Yeah.
And that's all. Like we have to invest so much more in ourselves. We have to just, we have to just, okay, know that what our faults are and work on them. And while we're working on them, that means that we can't be listening to these other people that are trying to still bring us down while we're trying to be better. So I don't know what's
The
going to
thing is,
happen.
I have internal battles that I need to deal with.
Okay.
Right? Meaning I have to build my self-confidence every single day. And if I'm concerned about what you think about me, how you feel about me, and all of those things, then I'm not working on me. I'm not building.
You back.
That means I've taken my attention and I'm now displaced it and put it elsewhere, right? I need to be building myself up to a place that's unbreakable, right? I'm able to go after the dreams, everything that I put my heart to. And so if I'm focused on you, that means I'm not focused on my dream, right? So I can't afford, it's too expensive. And that's the thing I tell my clients all the time. It is too expensive for you to be concentrating on others, right? Or what you couldn't have, because the time is the money. The time is the money, right? And so ultimately, if I'm looking at you, I'm wasting time over her and I'm paying attention to what you think about me, that means I'm spending unnecessary money. I'm wasting my money, and I need to turn my attention back to how I can make a better person, so I can input deposits into myself, because every single time I'm worried about you, you're just withdrawing and it ain't helping. So I'm sorry, it's too expensive to turn towards you.
Yeah, if I'm worrying about you and on Facebook reading the latest drama, that's 10-15 minutes I'm taking away from Puppy Love, and I am enough to figure out how I'm taking my business to the next level. We have to be focused. If you have to write it down, if you have to put stickers all over your house, your mirrors, your focus. What is your focus? And every time you feel like you're getting a little bit distracted, you need to remind yourself as to why you need to stay focused. And there are always daily reminders, whether it's our family, our friends. Now me, my focus is like, I have this little grandson that I truly need to be focused on and an example to. You know what I mean? I can't be this crazy person and he's looking at me like, that's my Layla. We have to completely be the best version of ourselves. And when these people are distracted in that, we need to be able to let them go. Comfortably. Goodbye. I'm going to pray for you, but over her. And
so
Shantia,
you are a young person, and I know we have some young people that always come in and listen to us. What would you say are some pointers to help them to stay focused and, go after their dreams?
Definitely, first, definitely the part where you said about how you have to present yourself in a way that makes him proud, and he's looking at you as the example and
Yes.
everything. Like as someone who's so, I guess, out there in Bermuda, and a few years ago I realized that a lot of younger girls look up to me, which I didn't realize in the moment, but like mothers will come to me, my daughter loves you, and would you take her one day to stuff? And I was like, what? I didn't even realize. So it definitely changed my perspective on how I present myself. And like you said about like keeping up this image of like everything's perfect, and like being my age, obviously Instagram is like everything, and Instagram is fake. Very fake. People try to make it seem like it's so perfect and all this stuff, and like on Angel would tell you, I've had my time with like boys and stuff, and Instagram was like making it seem like it was so perfect, and I had to sit back and realize like it's not perfect. I'm actually having a terrible time. And like, I have all these younger girls looking up to me, and I'm trying to sell this perfect dream, but I wasn't being true to myself. And like no, older, and I'm like actually happy, and actually I told my friend the other day I had to create this beautiful life, and I had to love myself more than anything to
Absolutely.
other people how to love themselves, I guess. So yeah, so I created this safe space for myself, and I had to be authentically me. And I don't know if you follow me now, but I post quotes and stuff depending on what I feel like that day and what message I want to give to them, because like there's people out there who you never know who you're inspiring. So yeah, you had it took a while, but I got there, and now I'm doing everything in my power to be happy. You kind of have to force yourself to, like if something, this is how my brain works now. If something negative comes, and it's either friends gossiping about something or just bad things, I literally have to block it out of my mind, because I'm like, I'm not. Yeah, time is expensive, and I'm not. I researching, brands in that time that it took me listening to my friend talk about stuff that we talked about 10 years ago when we were 18.
Yes.
Like, so, it's definitely a different shift, and you kind of have to put yourself in better spaces to be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. So Carla said, you never know who, Carla agrees with you. She said, you never know who's watching, right? And she also said, be authentic. People will appreciate you for it.
And it's so true. Shantia had a event. When did you have the event? Remember we all went, we had the breakfast and the photo shoot.
Yes.
So
yes. That was
right. So she invited me, and it was like we're meeting all women in fashion. So I want to say I was probably one of the oldest there, myself and Renee. And I didn't know half of these young girls, but they all knew me. So we're introducing ourselves, and I'm like, oh, I'm A to Z. And I was like, A to Z? Yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you know who I am?
Right.
And like Carla said, you don't know who's watching you. People are watching, young girls are being inspired to live their truth and to live their dreams. And we absolutely do not know who's watching. And that's why I say, watch what you post on social media. And especially when you have a brand or a business, you can have, I have so many pages. I have Popular, I have I Am Enough, I have my personal one. But even on my personal, you would never see me posting or venting, or because that I'm still representing these businesses, whether I'm in business mode or not, or always on the stage. When you have a business, You are always on stage, and some people are just waiting for you to mess up just a little bit. You know,
I
we
agree.
have those that are quiet, and we have those that are just watching us to fall so they could kick us when we're done. You know, so we always have to be mindful of this social media thing, and it is not real. Thank you, Shantia. It is so not real. Even like all these couples posting up happy as beans, and then the next thing you know, they have getting a divorce, or his beating crap out of her, something crazy. And you're like, these are the same girls that you're looking at the outfits and you're jealous because they got on rare bottoms and they got these Birkin beds, and then behind closed doors, the life is crap, the unhappy and the miserable. You know, so
I think at the end of the day, what's happening is that social media, especially Instagram, is selling a dream, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And people are already in the mindset where they may not be happy with their lives, or they want something to look forward to, right? And so I always say to people, it's about you still being human. So it's okay that you're going through social media. It's okay that you're on Instagram, on TikTok, or everywhere else that you wish to be, but you still have to recognize that we are human, right? And we make mistakes. Nobody is perfect, right? And I recall years ago, and not even that long ago, with my own social media, I am a person who likes to comment under topics and give thought-provoking or be argumentative. I don't know, some people would say argumentative, but I used to be able to like to comment on the stuff, and I still do. But I know that in order for me to reach the masses in a positive way and relay the message that I'm trying to get across to them, I can't post like that anymore.
Yeah.
Right. And so for a very long time, I actually just stopped posting, because I was like, how am I going to portray my message and still be true to myself in that I want to be argumentative and I want to do this and I want to do that? And I had to ask myself, which one was more important to the authentic self of me and where I'm trying to go, right? And my message was more important. And so I struggled for a moment, because I was like, should I use my regular, should I use my normal personal page in order to relay this message and so forth? And at the end of the day, I came to the conclusion, this is me. This is who I am, or bearing it all. This is who I am. I made 110, all these mistakes, but at the end of the day, this is who I am, and I've grown and I've evolved, right? So I've chosen to still use that same platform in another way.
Yes.
Right. And I think my TikTok, I will say, do struggle with, I see how some people are on TikTok. They show the whole life, the whole house is on TikTok, right? And I struggle with that, because I feel like there's something about me that needs to be private.
Yes.
There's something about me that should be just sacred to my loved ones, sacred to my friends or whoever, right? So oftentimes I wouldn't post any of that type of stuff because I'm not comfortable with doing that. And I feel like if you need more of me, then I'm sorry, then maybe you have to go in another direction. You know what I mean? Because I'm still a human. I'm still this person. It really is something that I think should be explored, where you then, how many people actually believe in that we're friends because you know me on social media, right? And if it's a person who's posting every single thing, I went to this club, I went to this location, I did this. This is a drink that I like. This is the best meal that I have. All of those things, I'm not saying is bad. What I am saying is some people who are not mentally strong enough, they created in their minds these warped ideals that they're actually friends with that particular person. And so you have to be careful about that. That's a part of social media that no one wishes to talk about, right?
Oh, yeah,
So
he loves you. That's so sweet.
oh.
That's so sweet. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I remember this girl on Dr. Phil, and she had like hundreds of thousands of followers. It was all based on her, the way that she dressed. And she was dressing really nice, funky dressing. And she would take pictures and she would post them, and she just started to get all these followers. So Dr. Phil asked her a question. She said, none of these pictures I was even going anywhere.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, I'm going to her tonight. I'm doing this. She said, I was getting dressed, taking a picture for Instagram, taking it off, getting in my bed or chilling at home. But she had created this whole persona of this social butterfly and was home every day. And people just, for some reason, and I don't know if you guys, maybe Shantia hears the girl Morgan from Random, what is she called? She has a
yes, I know who you're talking about.
Dating from Atlanta. So she look, this girl now has 1 million followers.
Yes.
She started this post about this man who had left her when her baby was 30 days old. She never said his name. She just said she had a baby from a random man in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
She started to gain all these followers. So he outs himself and he's like, she's telling lies. I'm the random man in Atlanta. Come to find out he has like 7 baby mamas.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now his outed his. I'm like, how dumb. She never called your name. She should have stayed quiet. So now all his business and everything is on social media because I guess he kind of felt like, oh, she's getting all these followers and she's really, really funny. She's hilarious. Yeah. And now he's outed his whole life on social media. So now all the other baby mamas are coming on TikTok and like, I have a baby. Nobody knew nobody. It's this big mess. And all he had to do is mind his business and shut up because she never said who he was. But he tried to jump on her bandwagon because she was getting all these followers. And now it's backfired. You know? And some things just don't have to go on social media. For me. Like, if you want to put your whole life on social media, but for me,
I think that's the beauty of TikTok, right? And I think that's why TikTok is so popular because of that. Because of that, right? It's the mass, it's everything you can find on TikTok. And personally, I like TikTok more than I like Instagram because of the fact that on Instagram, it's selling a dream. And on TikTok, I feel like you can actually get to see someone who's real.
But I think, but then on TikTok, because I don't know the girl's name, and I was dumb enough to believe her. I don't know if you ever seen her. She does these news clips.
Okay.
She takes actual news clips, and she had this news and makes it like funny. But I really thought it was real. And she was talking about how she went to the school and beat up the teacher. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I saw her again. I said, no way, this girl's taking the news clips. They look so real. Yeah. And she's like added them to make it see. And she's telling these like outrageous stories. Yes. And I didn't even know it was fake. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I am believing that this girl really beat up some teacher or some crap, right? But it's just hilarious. But it's amazing how people could really have you, thinking that crap is real. Yeah, you know. But it's social media is just how you want to portray yourself, and you have to realize that whatever you post, whether it's true, it's fake, that's how you're trying to do how you're trying to build yourself to followers. Whatever you post is gonna stay. Mm-hmm. So it all depends on.
Paula said you believed in Santa.
I did. I definitely believed in Santa, but not for long, not a fee. I definitely believed in the Easter Bunny, and I definitely believed in the Tooth Fairy because I used to get like $10 a tooth. I couldn't wait for them to fall out. Okay,
Carrie, you are hilarious. You're hilarious.
But we just again, it's just how we want to put ourselves out there and what we want to accept back, because we have to realize when we post and what we post, whatever it goes. If you're posting a lot of craziness, then you have to ask. You can't post something and then expect that people are not going to come for you. You know, so if that's what you want to do, then do it. But be ready for what comes with it. You know.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And reindeers. Thank you. I definitely believed in the reindeers.
There you go.
I had a little cousin that believed in Santa too. He was like 12, and one day he ran here from school because someone was like, you know, Santa's not real, right? And he was like, Santa's definitely real. And they gave him the whole rundown. He left school. Nobody could find him. Like, he didn't believe in Santa. He was heartbroken. Every time he said, I'm calling Santa Claus because, no, please don't call Santa. And when he found out Santa wasn't real, he hated everybody. Everybody.
Wow. That's a difficult one, right? Because you want children to imagine.
Yeah.
You want them to have these dreams, and you want them to just be a child for a moment, right? When someone comes along and takes that dream away from them. But I think as parents too, we just have to be prepared for
Yeah.
that scenario when it does happen, or break it into them as they get 3 and 4 that, you know, this is what the truth is, but this is how we do it in this household and stuff like that. Just going back to the social media comment, what I wanted to say is the opposite side is that we also have to remind people to have a purpose when they go into social media, right? Because some people go to social media just for the mess. Some people go, you know, I only want to go to shared room every single day, right? Some people are those people.
Yes.
But at the same time, I think family members, friends, you know, we have to also remind them, have conversations with people to let people know, like, hey, social media is not real. You know what I mean? Especially if you have someone in your life that is on the computer 24/7.
Yes.
I think it's up to us, right? I think it's up to us to bring it back to people in our lives so that they understand reality, right? A lot of times we could just point the finger and say, you know, so and so is always on social media, this is what they believe. But I think as family members, we also have to come back to what are we doing in our own spaces to help people out and, you know, get them back in touch with reality.
Yes, and that is such a good point, because again, that gets right back to the email, right? Of us needing a support system and not always looking to social media for an answer. You know, because you just there's so much foolishness on social
Well,
media.
look for social media for me. You know, come on social media and connect with me, right?
This is a
Like,
positive thing.
you know, if you want to use it in a positive way, then come, you know, come look for us.
Yes.
Come look for us. We got all the answers, but yes.
Try. We try. But yes, it's been an amazing talk. Shanti, I am again super proud of you. I really am. And I know that sometimes people are in positions and they don't feel like it's a responsibility to be an example. And I don't even think that it is a responsibility, but I feel like as Black women, we should want it to be our responsibility that when we are in the spotlight or when we have a platform to help, to be positive, we should do that. You know, so I am glad that you are doing it. I'm so proud of you. I'm glad that there are younger people looking up to you, because what happens is you show people that it is you can do it.
Yeah.
You know, for I wanted to open my own business and I was like, how am I going to do it? How am I going to still support my children? How? But I did it, and it showed people that it's possible to follow your dreams. So sometimes it gets a little, because you are torn if I just want to party and say what I want and do what I want, and I don't care who's listening. But then we do have a responsibility to, I feel like, or we should have a responsibility to be that positive enforcement for people that want to do, you know, what we're doing. And a lot of women in here right now saying, I wish I could, sis, you can.
Yeah.
You know, and you were showing, you were proving that it is possible.
Yeah.
So I am super proud of you for that. So super
At
proud
every
of you.
age, right? At every age, you can.
It is never too late, ever. I tell you, it's never too late. If you still got life, breath,
do it.
Do it. Who wants to leave this world not fulfilling their dream? I cannot imagine. I cannot.
No.
Whatever
I
it
think
is.
about that often, right? And I say to myself, what was I wasting my time on? Like the joy I feel right now. I mean, and the thing is, people think that it's all in place when they see you smiling, they see you happy, right? And you're like, no, I'm still going through some mess. I'm still got some issues that I have to sort out. It ain't all okay. But when you're going after your purpose,
it up.
It's another level of happiness.
Yes,
it's like, oh, I could figure, before it used to be like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I can't figure it out. You know, I'm just going to give up. But when you're going after your purpose, it's like, oh, I could figure that out.
And
It's okay.
And that's what I say. It separates a real entrepreneur from someone who's just got an idea. Because
Yeah.
when you're a real entrepreneur and you're following your passion, you find a way to work it out.
Yeah.
Listen, I can remember times I had A to Z and I'm like, well, rent's due next week and I don't have it. Like, what the hell am I going to do? And I was just, oh, you know what? I'm going to throw together this little quick event, give a little 10% off, throw some giveaways in there. Bam. One night, rent made. You have to sit in it and think about it and what works and what doesn't work. When you get to that, I can't do this. This is too much. I'm out. It ain't for you. It is not for you. If you can't cry about it, pray about it, lose sleep about it, lose weight about it, can't eat, can't sleep, but you still figure it out, that's your passion. That's what you were put on earth to do. I could not ever be behind somebody's keyboard ever again. And mind you, I have friends that are like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
They work the 9 to 5, they make their dollars, they go home, and they're not gonna think about the job till they go back in the United States. That's what they want to do.
That's what they
and I'm proud of them the same way I'm proud of my sisters that step out on their own, because everybody has a different purpose, you know. So I just
That's their own journey.
Yeah, I'm telling you, people
exactly.
just gotta just go for it.
Yeah.
Just
So
go for it.
Shantia, what do you have coming up next over the next I guess few weeks, few months, and everyone who's on the page listening, follow Shantia. She's a new person who spoke today, so follow her. But what do you have so people can follow you as well?
Definitely music videos coming out, so I'm excited about that. I think that's my favorite thing, style. I love for me to but yeah, and I actually work, I meant to say in the beginning, I actually work at the shops at Hamilton Printers, so I do the merchandise, the social media and everything. So I'm excited to get into the holiday spirit and decorate the shops at Hamilton. So fun to me. But yeah, definitely music video, like personal stuff, music videos, and a lot of styling for women, styling. That's really nice because I get to, you know, encourage people to look beautiful and look their best and dress how they want to dress. Yeah, that's really nice.
Love it.
So yeah, just more empowering women, and yeah.
So yeah, ladies, if you have an event coming up and you don't know what to wear, Shantia, and people will say, "What woman doesn't know what to wear?" Shantia will tell you.
Yeah.
Listen, when I had A to Z, I will gotta call Angel. I'm giving out tomorrow night. I'm picking out my outfit. Just have my chocolate. Just have my bill ready, and I'm put together the whole outfit to the shoot. They're not even looked in the bag.
Yeah.
Some women don't want to be bothered or just don't know how. So Shantia is your person. If you have an event coming up and you're not sure what to wear, where to get it from, she's gonna do it for you. So just join her social media and send her a message.
Yeah.
And she'll make you amazing.
I love it. I love it. So all you Bermudians, Christmas parties are coming up, so make sure you connect.
That's right.
With her so that she can get you all sorted out.
That's right. You don't want to be out there. I remember one time I went to a Christmas party for Butterfield Bank, and you know, it was like been into the fashion thing. Sister, she was slaying. I got there and it was another sister in the same dress.
Wow.
I was like, I will never, ever. And that's one of the reasons when I opened up A to Z, I didn't do bulk. Like I done one, especially for New Year's. It was just, if somebody had it in Bermuda, I couldn't control that. But when you came to A to Z, it would only be one of those dresses because the biggest person stepping out thinking you're sharp and it's someone dressed just like you. So Shantia's going to hook you up when no one else is going to look like you. So, get on it, ladies. But thanks again for another successful live. Ladies, remember to live in your purpose. Also remember, sharing is also supported. So when you see small businesses post, it's just a simple share that could really make a difference. So just
it is really, it's the engagement and exposure, right? So each time you share, that person gets to reach your audience as well. It, it is just something very simple because we are a small island, right? We are a small island, and the more that we can get it across to everyone else that Bermuda is doing something great, and we have some awesome people in Bermuda, I think the message would get out there as well.
Yes, it's so many. There are so many things in Bermuda and people in Bermuda that are available that people are probably using overseas that is right on island that people don't know about.
Mhm.
Like I met somebody, and maybe I was being a little cocky, but I met somebody the other day, and I was like, "You never heard of this?" Or, "What do you do?" I said, "You never heard of Poppy Love?" They was like, "No." I'm like, "You ain't heard of Poppy Love?" I was all in my feelings, but then it had me thinking, now I have to push harder because no, not everybody in Bermuda knows about Poppy Love.
Knows about it.
Yeah, so just a simple share. I'm like, don't even like myself, just share it, please.
Just share it.
Just share it.
And I'll be happy with that.
Yes.
So I want to just say to everybody, but I'm just looking for the date. I'm not sure if Carla is still here. I believe it is November the 25th for the Women's Empowerment Summit.
I think
that's happening in Bermuda. And if you give me a second, guys, I'll look for the flyer so I can give you the date. It is Saturday the 25th at National Sports Center. Yeah, I found it. It's at the National Sports Center. And I know that details and tickets and everything is going to be coming out soon. But guys, that is 5 weeks away? It's only a short time. So make sure that you stay in tune with that and get your tickets.
Okay. So, Miss Carla, are you still there? She's not there, but yes.
So she's there, but this is the opportunity for us to support, and many women are coming on, and they are in Bermuda. It's an opportunity for them to be connected one-on-one with people, get back together in that environment, and just support each other. So if you are in Bermuda on November the 25th, connect and be inspired.
Be inspired. Well, thank you, ladies. Thank you, Coach. And thank you so much, Shantia. And I can express, how super proud I am of you. So just keep spreading that onion and just keep being yourself. That's all you have to do. You just have to be yourself. And I love you to bits. And thank you, ladies. And everyone listening, next week, same time, same place.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. See you.